I just received a call from my accountant who provided me with last year's results for my YouTube channel. And in 2024, I lost $57,295. So in this video, which is going to be completely raw, unscripted, and a one take, I'm going to be addressing what the heck happened, what have been my revenue streams, my expenses, and pretty much addressing all of those as I think about the future for this channel, because losing $60,000 while working over 3,000 hours on this sometimes makes you question some of your decisions. But before I dive into kind of all of those numbers, I want to really briefly run you through how the heck did I put myself in this situation. I'm going to be speaking to you candidly about kind of the story behind it. So you have to imagine, right? I'm 21 years old, originally from France. I land in America. I get a job for $35,000. I pretty much do that for a few years. I get through promotions. Ultimately, after 4 years, I land at $70,000, and then I'm completely locked. I start pretty much almost like a mini depression in a way, where I was very evaluating whether or not being in America was worth all the sacrifice from not seeing my family and my friends. So I decided to invest in myself and taking a $200,000 Ivy League master degree, which I completed. And that led me to a dream position. And when I'm telling you a dream position, I was a negotiator at Amazon headquarters on the last floor at 27 years old for Prime Video. So when you think about, watching Titanic on Prime Video, for example, there is a discussion that takes place between the studio that owns Titanic and Amazon. And I was coming in that play. So exciting, at least for the first year. But there was something somehow that I just couldn't understand. At Amazon, it's kind of an open slate where everybody is kind of sitting next to one another, including executives. And I was the number 3 of Amazon on my floor. You have to think, the guy is pulling probably $40-50 million a year. And he would pass by my desk, and I would often say hi, just kind of like, what the hell is going on? This guy is at the top. He's one of the founders. Not once in the 2+ years that I've been there have I seen him smile or even being happy. His face was always kind of down and just kind of like sad and pissed off. And then I would speak to my manager. And at the time, guys, you have to think, I'm 27 and I'm making over $200,000 per year. But it's a performance-based, meaning I have a base salary, of course, but hours do not count. You're just going and doing everything pretty much. Like I was piling at least 60 hours a week. And Amazon kind of has that pressure behind you. And so I'm making great money. And I would see my manager, who's making probably $50,000 more than me in Seattle at the time with 3 kids. And he was miserable, despite making that much money. And I was like, what's going on, dude? Like, why? What's happening? Why do you feel this way? It's like, Romain, I am locked. I have to sustain my kids. My wife is counting on me. I can't exceed this position. And I feel like I'm in pretty much a career jail. I can't really take risk. We have rent. We have 2 cars. We have the kids that needs private tuition, blah, 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 and all of that. And so I look at myself and I'm telling myself, is this my life? Like, is that going to be my life? And something at some point arise that really changed my perspective. I wake up at night, feeling nervous, shaky. My fiancée at the time would even tell me that I was shaking at night as I was going to bed. Crazy. I wake up, 6 a.m., I get a call. Hey, Romain, what the hell happened on that document that you've done here? And I'm like, what's going on? And I get a panic attack. A panic attack at 6 a.m., middle of the night in Seattle. And I'm like, what? Like, is that it? Like, I've put every single moment of my life towards coming to this point, to just feeling miserable despite having a lot of money. And so at this point, I'm asking myself, no, this cannot be it. This cannot be my life. Like, there is no way I'm going to be that guy that's going to be staying and climb the corporate ladder, okay, make great money and just not like even enjoying the moment through that. And so I write on a book 58 different ideas of what I can do. From Airbnb to drop shipping to opening like a laundry machine company to a tiny house, everything that you can imagine. And I'm thinking, okay, what can I do here that provides me the scale where I'm not training my time for money, where somehow I can still have a voice in the space? Because I would really enjoy pitching deals and kind of having kind of that voice and that decision-making process. And so I decided to start a YouTube channel. I know that my time is pretty much overwhelmed already with the responsibility that I have at the job. So I take time off and I fly myself from Seattle to the middle of nowhere in the desert in a small city called Laughlin. And in Laughlin, there is nothing, especially in the winter. So I decide to lock myself in a room for 7 days with no distraction. I didn't want to hear anything from Amazon. I didn't want to hear anything from anyone. The only thing that I wanted to do is put into paper exactly how I was going to go and approach this YouTube channel. So I do that. I'm here in the morning, waking up, kind of writing my business plan in a way on my computer. At night, I would be going to the gym and so on, kind of having that balance. And somehow I really found peace in that experience, in that moment, with being completely outside of responsibilities, almost outside of the bubble that I was kind of creating myself at Amazon, and through kind of, being the guy that, wow, Romain, you've made it in America. You look at my parents would tell me, oh, we're proud of you and so on. And anyway, so I come back and I have 10 pages of exactly how I'm going to approach that. And at this point, I find my biggest competitor in the space, who is Caleb Hammer, who is literally blowing up. And although I really like this concept, I wasn't too aligned maybe with his approach. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to give a different shot at it, going through a more candid way. Everybody has their topic, and Caleb has learned to be a good friend of mine over the time now. But I'm just going to go at it differently. And so at that point, my goal is to figure out how can I bring some of the worst financial case in America to speak to me, so that I can provide my take on this. Because for the past 10 years, while doing all of that at Amazon, I have been doing everything I can in my power to game the system. Anything that you can think of legally with regards to personal finance, I've played a game in it, from opening over 12 different checking accounts to milk on bonus, maximizing any credit card or tax advantages or anything that I can do to play the game perfectly. And I find myself enjoying this experience. I pretty much get people to come on the show, which at the beginning actually is very difficult, because you're like, hey, would you want to come and opening up about your finances on the show? How does that feel? And a lot of the time you're like, get the hell out. Like, sorry, if you don't have any form of like credibility yet on the platform, people are kind of discounting you, right? So I have to incentivize people to come on the show. I'm paying them $100 at the time to come. And things get started moving. And at the time, I'm working 80 hours. 80 hours. So I still have the pressure of Amazon that's crushing me. My fiance, we are starting to kind of go through a tougher time just because of everything that's piling up. At some point, actually, over the course of last year, I read a message, because we were averaging like 1,000 views per video, and I was spending money left and right, having to recruit the right person and so on, just because I couldn't have time to edit my own videos, although I was reviewing every single minute. But I would be looking at my finances, and, when you start on YouTube, you're making peanuts, like, especially when you want to get monetized, and it takes me a time, and I'm comparing myself to Caleb at the time, and I'm like, dude, like, what the hell, man? How? I'm competing in production with this guy and in the case, but I'm just not making it. So I write a message on community post, and I say, hey guys, thank you so much for the venture. I locked down my computer, and I'm like, all right, this is done. I just have to stick at Amazon. And I don't know, like, I'm just like completely defeated about it, to be honest. And I post the last video and it blows up. 250,000 views, and I'm like, is this the sign that I was waiting for? Is it the proof of concept? And from that point, I keep investing into it. And I'm like, all right, I got something here. Maybe this is it. This is my moment. This is like when you need to double dip on it. And at the time, you have to think, I had already completely deconstructed my studio. Everything was in storage. Like, it was over in my mind. And I'm like, all right, you got the spark. Okay, I'm starting to connecting left and right. There is a short company that is doing shorts for some of the top creators. I feel something's going. I have a little bit of funds. Let me invest money into doing shorts. We get 1.2 million views on shorts right after, over the course of 3 months. But that, ladies and gentlemen, cost me $15,000. Okay, because I'm playing here with the big guns that does shorts for some of the biggest on YouTube. And I'm like, well, if this is my shot, let's just go at it, Quickly I realized that, well, maybe my content is not strong enough to, justify that ROI. Definitely not from that point. So I continue through this venture. And that leads us to second quarter of 2024. I'm averaging about 10 or so thousand views per video, but at that time, guys, you have to think, I'm still at Amazon and I'm running everything. So the selection process for having people coming on that show is something that you cannot imagine, because I'm looking generally for 3 things. Age, generally the older the better, and the wiser experience, the more depth of the story. Financial struggle, or generally financial drama in some sort. They're not doing so well financially. And the most important one is someone that is willing to open up. And that's where it's tricky. So to get one person to sit on the chair that I'm sitting right now, I need to speak to at least 40. So I'm running Amazon. I'm running casting. I'm running production. I'm having people coming to my house to record. I'm preparing the cases. I'm doing thumbnails, or I'm actually kind of reviewing thumbnails and so on. Titles, SEO, everything. And I said, fuck it, I'm burning out at Amazon. I'm quitting Amazon. Let's freaking run that shit. Let's go all in. I had a little bit of funds. I'm not going to lie to you. That's kind of how I went about it. I'm like, okay, you've burned yourself like crazy at Amazon's. You can financially go about it. And over the course of time, I'm going through the motion, going through that. My editor, we kind of pair together. We're like, let's go, and I'm running days where I'm going to bed at like 1 a.m., literally 1 a.m. at that point, just trying different things. And I'm starting to work with sponsors. They're liking, momentum builds. And then I decide to do something that completely messed up my algorithm. I get out of the podcast for just a glance to allow myself to go more of that, hybrid podcast, React, educational, and I don't have the subscriber to support that journey. And this is when I fucked up my algorithm. And this is when things have been going down from that point where I'm not able to reach again that original viewer that was watching my content. As I'm looking at my finances, I'm in that momentum, like just let's keep this going. Like, I don't care, let's go. And I'm going to be opening up a little bit about what that means in terms of pure numbers. Guys, I hope for no judgment on this, but this is crazy. I spent $98,000 last year on YouTube. So just even digesting this, it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, how the hell did you put yourself in this position? Most of that cost is contract labor. So an editing on my podcast is about $500. Then you have to account for thumbnails. That's about $40. Then you account for someone that does captions. That's about $50. Then you have to account for, what else? Hold on, how do I put? Yeah, oh, right. I forgot about this one. People coming on the show. Most of the people have no money. They have nothing. And so I need to help with transportation. I need to provide a slight incentive at least for them to come and just open up to me. That's about $200 or so per person. So every production, every video that's coming out every week is more or less, when you account for everything, about $1,000 out of pocket. That, guys, is crazy. When my revenue per video is about, $10, $12 per 1,000 views. So I make 10,000 views, I make $120. The ROI here is out of this world. In fact, in 2024, I made a total of $40,000 $844 of revenue, 40K. So my time is literally on minus. Like I've lost, I guess, 40,000, almost $60 an hour. This is a freaking joke. I did 3.4 million views last year in ads, 23,917. My most popular video, the one that blew up, did $2,400. So I had to bet on sponsors and affiliates. I made about $17,000 from those. But affiliates, they're like, look, let's go. What's your return? How are you doing? What are your views? Hey, we want something. We want like an average. Hey, what's going on? Well, my views are going to be up and down, up and down. I can't really provide as consistent of a platform because it's so case dependent. At the same time, I'm feeling the financial pressure and like, what the hell have I put myself into? I need to commit to it. I need to just go about it and just kind of see, is this going to be the next video that's going to come out? Is this going to be it? Or do I need to shut that down? So last night at 3 a.m., I wake up and I have a mini panic attack because the day before I received that document and I'm like, fuck. That's what it is. That was goes through my mind. So this is what's going to happen. I have 10 videos, 10 podcasts recorded ahead right now. Those are going to be probably some of the 10 most important videos that I've ever published on this channel because it's going to be a go or no go. I am shutting down my new recordings. So the video that you're going to be watching for the next couple of weeks are naturally the ones that we've recorded before that have a follow-up and so on. And we have some really, really exciting stories. I'm having to fire my editor, which has been my partner from day one. I just can't afford her. And I am going to be doing something completely different if this shit doesn't run. I'm going to be doing commentary with a spin of entertainment for personal finance. This could potentially be my competitive advantage. My production cost is going to drastically reduce. This is something that I can also combine with employment that I need to go back to because I have no choice. Man. Was it a fail? Heck no. When I think about the 2 years running this, I've probably lost at this point $100,000. But somehow, I've never felt more alive. So from a financial perspective, has it been worth it? Yes. Because I see it as educational, as if I invested myself into this venture. Like the people that I've met, the experience and everything has been crazy. And yes, it's a massive financial loss. Speaking from the perspective of a finance guy, I should have shut that shit down much faster. But man, when you have a hobby, when you have a passion, when you have something that just pulls you in, you just... You just want to make it work, man. That's just the way it is. Guys, if you've made it this far, I am really thankful to every single one of you that comments, and I read every single one of your comments, your engagement. I have known that on this channel, we have a 92% success rate for people that have come to the show. And while I may not have the finances to, to showcase that success for me, man, I've probably changed at this point tens of lives, or at least for the ones that I've spoken to that I'm still in touch with. Guys, I see you in another video. I'm excited for those 10 coming ones. They're going to be nice, and I'm looking forward to see you. We'll see how in the next video. À bientôt.